This is where the fun begins.
Hello there. How's it going?
Hey everyone, Hybrid Toy Reviews here, and today we're doing a little bit of a flashback review. We are taking a look at the Black Series AT-AT driver, or AT-AT driver. They're both right. If you argue over it, you're stupid. But honestly, this is a really good figure. I had one. I mean, I still have one. It's up on the shelf up above there. But it always needed a friend. I always needed a second one. I couldn't pass up the price I saw this on Amazon for. It was like $8 with Prime shipping, and I was like, okay, I gotta do it. And I gotta review it because, in my opinion, it's one of the more slept-on Black Series army builders. Of course, you don't want an army of AT-AT drivers, but no one ever really talks about the AT-AT driver. So let's get into the review and talk about it and shine some light on why this might be something you need to add to the collection if you haven't already. Also, amazing artwork by Gregory Titus there. Very, very silhouette-y. Probably one of his best, in my personal opinion. Into the review! Alright, here's the figure in the box. This is your standard red and black packaging, which was the standard in the line for like 6 years. Absolutely iconic, and just a lot of good memories are tied to this packaging. So up above the big window is your Black Series logo. The big window shows the Trooper and his blaster off nicely. You have, again, some of that amazing Gregory Titus artwork. I don't get why he hasn't done like a coffee table book of these. The only thing I can assume is he doesn't have legal permission to use his Star Wars drawings, even though they're his, but I get it, they were commissioned. You have your AT-AT driver in red there, and then Conductor d'AT-AT in, I don't know, that sounded German, French. Age Dad I Dade 4+, warning Hasbro. Always had to do all your foreign stuff right on the front. He's number 31 in the red box line, which actually kind of shocks me. I felt he was more in the 50s. I don't know these, to heart or anything. I felt like he was later in the line. On this side, you have your wraparound window, AT-AT driver again, and then AT-AT DR over there. It's a, how they did the big letters. Underneath is a barcode underneath of the sticker from Amazon under a bunch of legal stuff. Around back, you have your Black Series logo again, your 31, a zoom-in of that Gregory Titus art, a bio in varying languages about AT-AT drivers. You have a bunch of legal stuff, Disney, Hasbro. Hanger tab and window up top leaves a little bit of light to get in the package from above if you are an inbox collector. I'm not a loser, however. I play with my toys, so without further ado, let's open them up, take a look at what you get here. Here's the AT-AT driver out of the box. Let's go ahead and start by taking a look at his accessory. He comes with the E11 Stormtrooper blaster. Very common sculpt from this era in the line, in a dark gray, almost black color, with a little bit of silver punch-in on the little slide over there. Over here, you have these sculpted in clip. There's a sculpted in scope up above. It looks really, really good. There's no long banana clip or flashlight that every one of these has to have in the new line. But that's all right. This was a good sculpt, especially for the time. And honestly, I have no gripes with it. I still think it's pretty faithfully accurate. He features a trigger finger on both hands, but the right hand does fit it a bit nicer than the left. And it looks really good in his hands. However, no holster, because the costume never had a holster. And you never even see him carry a gun in the movie. Honestly, you just see the two of these guys sitting in the cockpit for like 2 shots that may have totaled 5 seconds. And, but that's okay. That's what some of our best Star Wars designs ever have come from. Looking at him, he's got some really cool stuff going on. So it's basically a Stormtrooper helmet wearing an X-Wing pilot helmet over top of it. It's kind of just a really neat thing they did for this movie. And it's got an insane amount of things going on here. Between the little red tooth in the front center, the sculpt on the little breathing apparatuses in the chin, the one red, the other silver. Just all little pinholes in it. All these extra little greebles and bits of tubing and so many little things. This is a very heavy, busy sculpt. There's a lot going on here. I mean, not even just in your deco, which has been applied very, very well, but this has so many little random buttons that have been slapped on it by the Lucasfilm team back in the 80s that it's very busy, and not in a bad way. And the Black Series team recreated it very well. The box on the back of the chest there with all those finely painted little details. I mean, come on. They didn't have to go this hard on it. The chest box, just insane. I mean, it's really, really well sculpted. I've got no gripes there. Very soft, very pliable breathing tubes, which is always nice on these pilot-type characters. And then from then on, admittedly, it is very much just a whiteout version of a TIE fighter body, basically. However, it's not a reuse of the TIE fighter. It has heavier shoulder pads than a TIE fighter pilot. The chest is a little different. But ultimately, it's a fabric bodysuit with big boots, big gloves, and, a little bit of armor going on. But it's just very, very well sculpted. He's wearing the Snowtrooper armor pad, or shoulder pads, but they are upside down, which is just how the costume was. And it's cool. It's just very well done. Very cool. Looking around, a lot of nice sculpt work going on the bodysuit. Could honestly use a little bit of a wash, maybe, to accentuate some of it. Because, there's a fabric-y texture going on here. Kind of like a canvasy, like a jumpsuit material. And it's just very, very well done. All the sculpt on the straps, the webbing of, the nylon straps there, just looks insane. And then the kind of light gray, almost white for the boots and the gloves. Very well done. It's just a case of, 3-second trooper, insanely well done action figure. Just well done, Hasbro. This is one of those, early gems that no one talks about this guy. There are figures from early on in the line. People always want to gush about the orange pauldron and black pauldron sand troopers. And, yeah, those are good. I'm not saying they're not good. But, come on, this has more sculpting than any of those ever will. And it's just incredibly, great at recreating what it's supposed to. I adore this sculpt, and I always have. To run through the articulation, there are a couple things that are dated, to warn you. But it's not bad. It's pretty decent. It has the ball on the hinge for the neck, which allows you to look that far up, which is not anything to frown at, especially with these tubes going on here. You think they'd be pulling tight, but they're not. And then he can bury his chin. I mean, that's full range, helmet or not. You can get your side to side there, of course. A little bit of pivot, get some attitude out of the guy. Shoulder pads are a little frustrating. They're very rubbery. And you can get them to go up over, but then it kind of divots them in there, and it's kind of, I don't want to say it's permanent, but you'll definitely have some flat spots on there if you do that too much. 360 at the shoulders. No butterfly joints, which, again, product of the times. Single jointed elbows. Go to 90, you can kind of push and get a little more than 90, which is nice. Swivel at the elbow. 360. Also at the elbow, you can 360. I meant to do the wrist. 360 at the wrist is just snug. Left hand hinging in and out. Right hand also hinging in and out. That's also annoying. Product of the times. Mid-torso ball joint allows you to crunch him not much forward. Decent little bit back, though. There's a swivel and some pivot in there. The legs can come out that far and go straight forward. You can go not much back, but that's okay. Upper thigh swivel. Double jointed knees. They're pinned. So be it. Every figure in the time was. And honestly, I don't even hate pins. I get it. It breaks up a little bit, but whatever. It's a good range. And then there's no boot cut, but the feet can point straight down, a little bit forward if you push it. And there's a forward-facing pin for rocker, allowing you to get some decently wide stances, both feet flat on the ground in those big ol' astronaut moon boots that he wore. To do a quick size comparison, here he is next to the 2020 body Imperial Stormtrooper. Get him to stand up. There we go. And then from the same wave, the Imperial Snowtrooper, they are all clocking very, very similar heights. I think that is pretty accurate to the material. Let's get into the wrap-up. So, what do I think of the Black Series AT-AT driver? Well, I think it has aged like fine wine. As far as figures from this era go, there were a lot of misses back in 2016, but this one absolutely hit. This was honestly from a really great wave. You know it's a great wave when I remember it completely and when I buy the entire wave. It's one of the only times that I ever pre-ordered a solid case back in the day. It had the Snowtrooper, the AT-AT driver, Old Ben Kenobi, White Dress Princess Leia, Sabine Wren, and Darth Revan. Come on, that was an awesome case assortment. And one of my most favorite Black Series memories, just going to the mailbox and having an entire set and not having to go hunting, which was good because I don't really recall seeing many of these on the shelves anywhere. I know they reissued these later on, in a later wave, and those kind of peg-warmed, but, this was a really good set of figures. And this was one of probably the best ones in that case. But just ultimately, I've always loved this figure. I'm glad to finally get to talk about it a little bit on the channel. And all in all, it's just a really, really good figure. If you have a little bit of a Stormtrooper army going on and you don't have this one, grab one. He's fun. He spices up the shelf a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to go work on something else for now, so thanks again for watching. It means a lot that you did. If you enjoyed, you should leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that end of video stuff. Consider the channel memberships. For $1 a month, you get your name put on the end credits of every video, and it's just a great way to say thanks. Of course, it's not the only way. Just being here is enough for me as well. But for those that care to do so, click join in the description down below, next to the subscribe button. Until next time, may the Force be with each and every one of you, and goodbye.